the first thing I would do when I recruit them, I look for Hollywood movies. And then the guys who died in the movie, I highlight them and show them in the next movie. At the end, I make them to believe that when they kill someone, the person will live in another movie. So everything they are doing is a type of movie.
Okay, so when we last left off, we didn't get it, but as I suspected, while leaving the studio yesterday, only like an hour after, I got a text from him when I was stoned at my house. I got a text from Uncancellable, you know? And, people have been saying, like, Sian, you're going off the rails. You're smoking weed again. You're going off the rails. And, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I might be, like, smoking weed with, like, old 67-year-old men. And I might be, like, homeless men from Townsville. I might be, only getting asked out by intellectually disabled people. I might be getting banned from like all the rooms in Brisbane. One specifically, but not the one that always supports me. Good Chat Comedy has always supported me. So besides them, every other room in Brisbane, I'm nearly getting banned from. Besides Good Chat Comedy, they've never banned me. But so, there's so people are saying, Sian, you're going off the rails, you're getting banned because of your podcast, you're blah, blah, blah. But it's like, am I? Because on the same token, I'm talking, like, is your life going off the rails if you're talking to Uncancellable? It's either going really well or it's off the rails, Like no one's told Sian Smyth from Vice when he was talking to General Butt Naked, oh, you're off the rails. Like no one was telling fucking Larry Charles when he was talking to Butt Naked, oh, you're going off the rails. None of that. So I don't know if I am going off the rails or if my life is stupidly good right now and I'm like, of the hierarchy of human, I'm like here, Because I'm talking to fucking Doug Stanhope one minute and a fucking General Butt Naked ex-cannibal warlord from Liberia the next. So, I'm saying this and I look quite full of myself and I'm aware of it, and then there might be another technical issue, but that'll just be fun if that happens, But he has made contact. So I was on my way here. He made contact. I actually got in the Uber. 2 customer service people have told me I look off recently. When I went to the shops earlier today, the cashier at the shop was like, can I ask you something? Why do you always look so sad? And like, I'm not that sad, I'm not. Like, it's just like when I'm not with people, all I'm thinking about is stand up. So like, or like comedy, so like my like resting face is just what I do when I'm thinking about comedy. So I guess my resting thinking about comedy face looks incredibly sad, and then I got into the Uber today to bring me to the studio, and I got in and I sighed, and the Uber driver said, oh, what's with that sigh? And I told him what was happening. I said, bro, like, I'm interviewing, like, hopefully interviewing like a cannibal warlord on my podcast. And I told him all about Joshua. His name's Joshua Blahyi now, not General Butt Naked. So if we could please respect that. If we could please respect his new name, because General Butt Naked is his dead name and Joshua Blahyi is his real name. So, Joshua. So I told him a bit about Joshua. I told him a bit about the history of Liberia. So Liberia is a country that was actually taken over by freed slaves from America. So there were freed slaves from America, and they had a Back to Africa movement where they sent the slaves back to Africa. And the slaves that went to Liberia actually enslaved the native Liberians using the same plantation method that was used on them in the West. Which goes to show that life's a fucking bitch, isn't it? Isn't it? Jesus Christ. Bit hack, guys. Bit hack. Anyway, and that erupted in a war and civil unrest. And then there was a tiny bit of downtime, I think, for a little while. But then Liberia erupted into yet another civil war that was even crazy. And things just went completely deranged, And there were, the child soldiers were fucking doing drugs and and there were 4 generals that I know of or that I can think of from the top of my head. And there was General Mosquito, and they called him General Mosquito because, Sian Smyth said mosquitoes are scary because they have malaria. Then there was General Mosquito Spray. Then there was General Bin Laden and General Butt Naked. General Butt Naked was supposedly one of the most feared warlords during that time, during Liberia's civil war. That only ended, maybe in 2003, it might have ended, maybe a bit earlier, maybe a bit later than that. And General Butt Naked was one of them, and he got his name because him and his child soldiers would fight naked in battle. And they would also... And I have clips of General Butt Naked talking about him, just drinking the blood of children and all that absolutely lovely stuff that just makes you the perfect guest for my podcast. So we are going to try and get in contact with him. And then, so I was telling my Uber driver all about him. And then halfway through, I was like, and my Uber driver was getting heaps into it. He was like, whoa, what the fuck, bro? Whoa. Like he'd never heard any of this before, and I was like, yeah. And now he's like a Christian preacher, and he's like, rehabilitating like the child soldiers who he fucked up during the war. Like, it's just like this crazy kind of yin yang effect, and and then I was talking about it, and I was like, that's why I'm sad. Like, that's why I'm sighing, is because I'm worried I'm not going to be able to make contact with the cannibal warlord. I bet you never thought you'd see a girl so upset about not making contact with a warlord. I bet you've never seen a rape victim, myself, so upset about not being able to contact a rapist. But, I guess, like, we're an odd couple. We're just an odd couple. Like, you'd never guess it, So, and then just when I was about to get out of the Uber, I fucking was like, I get a little bing on my phone, and I look down, and it is the Joshua Blahyi saying, acknowledging that we are going to call him soon. And he just sent me another text then saying, when are you going to call? So I told him in 10 minutes. So... I'm going to let him do the majority of the talking for this, and I'll let him intro himself. So that was a little intro by me, but I think it's important to have him intro ourselves. So let's give this guy a call. Sorry if I'm not perfect when I'm talking. I don't have a journalism background. All right, let's try and call him, Alex. Joshua, where are we? We can't see you. Joshua, can we get you on camera, mate? Joshua, you're not
I want to cut off the TV.
Turn off the TV? Okay. What are you watching? You got a TV.
Some Arabian show.
What show?
I actually came to a guest house so that I can have good signal to talk to you.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. Thank you. So look,
Welcome.
I'll let you explain. Can you explain a bit? I know a lot about your story. I find it really interesting, and I'm also on a road to redemption type thing. But can you explain to our viewers and our listeners a bit about yourself and your story, with a bit about that and what you're doing now?
Okay. First of all, why you wanted me to come undressed? You still want me to be General Butt Naked?
You can be Joshua Blahyi. Do you want to be General Butt Naked or Joshua Blahyi? General Butt Naked is a man of the...
No, but I asked you, I said, saying, should I come dressed or undressed? You say, I don't have to dress. Oh! And if I don't dress, I have...
would have been awesome. That would have been a great comic. You're a comic, bro. You're a fucking comic. Holy shit. Yes. If you'd done that, that would have gone off. But it's good we can keep this professional for now.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I have watched couples of your YouTube videos, and I think you're doing well. And so, yes, my name's Joshua Milton Blahyi. I was born by the name Milton Blahyi. That's the name my parents gave me when I got converted. A prophet said that the Lord is going to use me as a Joshua to my tribe, that lead my tribe from the place of darkness to the place of light. And that's how I'm answering now, Joshua Milton Blahyi. But I was born as the priest to my tribe. I'm from the Crown tribe, and the Crown tribe in Liberia is a warring tribe. We were under the rulership of the free slaves as a nation for about 150 years. And then my tribe, a member of my tribe, overthrew that leadership that have brought Liberia to a place where even a native and anyone can be president now. Yeah. But it was not by any other means.
So were you the freed? Sorry, just so I understand. So we understand perfectly. So is your tribe one of the freed slaves or the native Liberians?
No, my tribe is one of the native tribe. We have 16 native tribes, and my tribe is one of the native tribe. It's called Crown.
Crown.
And yes, and we are known for our nature of war. But I was born as a priest. My father was selected the priest to the tribe, but he was wealthy and educated. And then the elders of the tribe thought he would not be effective with his Western education. And so they asked him to bring his first son. But he was already married to a woman from the north. We are from the southeast. And so they told him that he could not bring his son by the woman from the northern tribe. He had to bring a woman from the Crown tribe. So they cast their lot. Actually, the elders and the elders cast their lot, and the lot fell on my mother, who was already married with 2 children. So our tradition insisted that she left her husband and have a child by my father, who eventually became the priest. So that I was that child. And that's how I was born. So at the age of 7, I was turned over to the elders, who trained me as a priest for 4 years. And at the age of 11, I was crowned the priest. It was an excitement to the tribe, because the tribe have been order priests for more than 28 years before I was born. So it was an excitement to the tribe that they have a priest, their own priest, finally, because they were borrowed a priest. And I became the priest 1982 when Sergeant Doe was president already for 2 years. And so I exhumed my the priestly role when he was already 2 years in power. And as a priest, I was responsible to protect every single tribe member. So as a president, he was automatically my subject and needed my protection. And that's how I started.
And Samuel Doe was do you say Samuel Doe, the guy that
yes,
was killed? It was on
Prince
TV.
Johnson killed. Yes, that's the guy that Prince Johnson killed was my subject. He was the president of the nation, but I was his spiritual covering. And so he brought most of the crime tribes into power, even though they were not competent, but for protection and for the sake of the traditional continuation. He made most of the tribe members his officials, which was bad governance. That's what turned up to be bad governance. And then Charles Taylor brought up the war.
The war, yeah. Oh, he's cutting out.
Yeah, so when the war came against Doe, most member of the Crown tribe was in power. And so it was like the nation against the tribe. So as a priest, I came to protect the tribe. That's how I got involved with the war. I was responsible for quote unquote protection against gun, protection against knives. And so as a priest, I was protecting the military, the police, and all of the fighting men against the intruding forces that Charles Taylor brought. So I was responsible to spiritually cover the tribe. That's how I got involved with the war. So when Doe was killed, the tribe ran away into exile. And the member of the tribe was being hunted because of Doe. Members that were outside in Sierra Leone came together with the Mandinga tribe. And both of them came back with a faction called Ulimo. Mm-hmm. And when they came back, they were fighting one cause. But the Mandinga have a Muslim background. And because they were the one sponsoring the war financially, they wanted to Islamize the struggle. And some of the educated guys among us knew how detrimental it would have been. And so they tried to resist the Muslim influence over the faction. And so the faction split it from Unimo to two, Unimo J and Unimo K. And Unimo J was for the Crown, while Unimo K was for the Mandinga. And then Unimo K had all of the army nations. The Crown tribe did not have army nations, so we had to employ the spiritual strategy, the spiritual maneuver. That's how I became very strategic and became the leader, the leading factor of that faction. We had our leader, political leader, who could represent us internationally and explain our cause. But I was like the mandate man, where people listen to for directions and take instruction from. And that's how I became one of the feared generals. 1996, the war was fought right in the city, Monrovia, when they asked Roosevelt Johnson to be arrested, when ECOMOG was supposed to arrest Roosevelt Johnson right in the city. And we thought it was unfair. And that's how we rose up and took seize of the entire city for about 7 months. And it actually would have continued, or gone more than that. But the Lord arrested me at this time in this very war that made me famous and brought me into permanence. The Lord took control and arrested me.
Am I right in saying, I might be wrong, but it was during like a human sacrifice type thing that you remember?
Those are the spiritual requests.
The spiritual requests. Is that? Yeah, but you don't do that anymore, and now you're reformed or reforming?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us about that journey?
Well, yes. After I met Jesus, I got to realize that because I was trained, first of all, as a priest to the tribe, and I was made to believe that every human belonged to the gods of my father. And so he made requests for humans in different rituals. And I implemented those rituals. So when I got converted and accepted the Lord Jesus Christ, then I realized everything I was doing was a lie of the devil, who is the father of all lies.
Yeah.
And then I regretted. I still regret. I repented and still repenting, and I tried to make amends. And so I thought my contribution to the war by recruiting young children and encouraging them to participate in the war with all kinds of mystical preparation affected them mentally. And so as restitution, I should try to build back the lives of the young people. And so when I went to the TRC and spoke the truth and was able to reveal a lot of information that helped the TRC, they recommended amnesty for me, even though it's not banning, it's just a recommendation. After the War Crime Code is established, they might say, no, we don't accept the recommendation, or we accept the recommendation. But when they recommended amnesty for me, I thought it was so over generous. And so I decided to sentence myself to this community service that I'm in. So since 2007, I have started working with the young people, those ones on drugs, those ones in crimes. And think I have tried to reach out to them and tell them, say, look, whatever introduced you to this life of violence is wrong, God. And this is me, this is what I was. And I'm telling you now, it's wrong. If you want to give me the chance, I can help you. And some young people will trust me and turn and surrender to the Lord Jesus Christ. And I will bring them to my mission and try to detox them using herbs. You know, I was like a trained witchcraft, and one of the things is the usage of herbs, the different kinds of herbs. So I use those herbs to detox them and then train them and give them different skills. You know, I bring them in by the 50. Now, because of a drug crisis in Liberia, parents have caused the place to overflow, came begging, and we have 93 now as I speak. We have 93. They are sleeping all on the floors because we have bed for only 50 of them. But because of the drug crisis that is killing a lot of young people, we have taken almost double 50.
Yeah, and it's cocaine and heroin. So is it cocaine and heroin, mostly the drugs that are being used?
Yes, but not. Yes, cocaine, heroin, doogie, Talon White. But there's a new one now that we are still trying to discover the origin of it, and it's called Kush. And that one, the children are taking it and getting crazy, taking it and dying. They'll just kind of blood bleed up in their heads to a certain level. They take it. Some of them will take it and try to kill their own parents. Some of them will take it and try to kill their own siblings. Some of them will take it and look at a car moving and believe they can run through the car. And it's been killing. It have killed more than 1,000, but at least about 156 thereabout parents have reported to me about their children who have died from these drugs. About 161 young people have been reported to me personally from December to now. And it's so deadly. So because of that, we have overcrowded the place, you know, just to rescue those children. Some of them, their parents bring them and they almost mad. And we have to,
So it's rehab. You're running a rehab.
Yes, I'm running a rehab.
Well, I'm a recovering addict.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'm a recovering addict. So I find that I found that interesting. Has there been a time in your life where you've used drugs? You've gotten fucked up?
No, I did not. I gave drugs in different way, but actually even the human blood is intoxicating. Some are even higher than blood. So that's what.
So you were addicted to blood.
Yes, I used to be addicted to blood.
Shit. Fuck. And was it hard to like detox from blood?
Well, I think it was a magical effect. After I met Jesus, it's like something new took over me, actually. So I do not compare my case with others because I think there was an intervention, a divine intervention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what.
But since 1996, since 1996, I have never felt like, since I got converted, I have never felt like drinking blood.
Since
even
1996. So you're over 20 years. You're 1996.
27 years now.
27 years clean off blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. If you were here, you'd get a tip. Yeah, if you were here, you'd get a key tag. I don't know. Like I do 12 steps of recovery. Do you know what that is?
Well, those are the theoretical processes that is used medically. But what I use is herbs. Once I give you those herbs, they will clean your system, because this is what happened in the present.
So the herbs get people off. The herbs get people off drugs. Yes,
it actually help rebuild your system, your entire cells, because when you start taking drugs, this is what happened. The major cells in your body that depends on the natural chemical that is made from food you eat. Those cells they get stored. They are not active in moving to manure for food, because the drugs flood the system with the identical chemical that the food produces. So those cells are the most informing cells in your body. They are the one that's supposed to move all over your body. It's called the reward center. They move around your body to inform the remaining cells about pleasure. But these cells get dormant, and all of the other cells get effective. So the herbs come there to boost those other cells to fight, for their equal nutrient. Mm. And automatically, it's almost also like a magic. It's just like a boost. And then once the person come, I keep them fresh for 21 days, where they go through that pains of withdrawal, all of the bones, all the joints are hurting, and the different pains. Then I start giving them that help, where all the system, all the cells in you will be ready, get like they die starving from food. So once the help come in, all of the cells grab these hairs, and then they get nutrients. So then they bring all of them on an equal balance. And then you start the counseling, you start the different preaching and praying for the person. So mine is absolutely different from the normal recovery processes.
Yeah. It's different recovery model. And I know people who the 12 steps hasn't worked for. Like Doug Stanhope would argue that a good comedian mate of mine, Doug Stanhope from the US, he doesn't think the 12 steps haven't worked for him, but possibly the herbs could work for him. What sort of herbs is this like marijuana type thing? Is that, or is it a different type of herb?
No, it's a different one. It's called moringa, but it have different kinds of mixture. Moringa. And another one called lemongrass. So it's a combination of these two cells, but then you have to know the mixture. All depends the level of drugs the person have taken.
Wow. And does it work, would you argue, 100% of the time?
I would say 80%. I have taken 80 to 85%. I have rescued and interacted with 700 young people besides this batch. And out of the 700 young people, 580% have regained their life totally.
That's wow. That's fuck yeah. That's something else, man. And that's but so wow. 26 years sober, and you have kids now, and you're married, and have they ever used drugs or anything like that? Like your family? You have a family now?
Yes, even though I'm divorced now.
Oh, you're divorced.
But I have.
When did you get divorced?
Yeah. 2010, 2020.
2020. Oh, okay.
Right after the TRC, my life, there was a serious attempt on my life from most generous. They felt I exposed them, and then they came after my life. They tried to kill me several times, and I was like running from one place to another, and I think my confession was also overwhelming for my wife, and she could not stand it, because she knew I was general butt naked. She knew I got convicted,
but she didn't know the details.
She didn't know the details. So when I went to the TRC and gave the details,
it gave her a bit of a shock. And, yeah.
Yes, and then besides that, the guys who felt exposed by my testimony started coming after my life, and the threats were so overwhelming. And she just thought,
this guy's a bit too chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so are you recovering, would you say, from a broken heart as well?
Well, it was not really a broken heart, because I understood her, even though she wanted a divorce like 2010, and I refused the divorce for almost 10 years. But then in all of that time, I realized that, well, she's a normal and a regular person. She loved me, and but she could not bear what I was bearing, and I thought it was wrong to continue insisting that thing. But I thought she would realize it and come and understand it.
Oh, but we always hope that. We always hope they'll come back and they'll be like, oh, can they forgive us for our faults type thing? And they never do. But yeah, so you're single now?
Yes, I'm very single.
Yeah, and how's single life treating you? Let's talk about this.
Well, I think I'm getting older now, and
How old are you?
I have been advised.
How old are you? Private? Oh, he's cut out.
52.
52. You look fucking awesome for 52. So you're single. Yeah. So tell us about that. So single as a Pringle and ready to mingle?
Well, not really ready to mingle, because I have a target. My children are grown up now. They're in college. They're almost graduating. My older daughter is 24. She will turn 24 this year. My son next to her is 22, and my daughter next to him is 20. The last is about 16, turning 17 this year. But the project, I feel that being single gave me the chance to really, give up my best for the time, it was most needed, where I would go to the ghetto and I would challenge some pimps and some drug lords to rescue some children who parents reported to me that they are in the ghetto and they have been used as sex slaves. So I did not have much
free time
you
for
know
dating.
fear to go to challenge them. So I was able to rescue a lot of young people who were not meant to be in the ghetto in and outside Liberia. I have gone to terrible areas like the Niger Delta. Parents contact me, their children was indicted, and I went there to rescue those children and what have you. And it was actually fun, as risky as it was because of my past experience and thing, but because it was a good, they were worthy. They gave me so much joy and fulfillment. Of course, like hoping that it will make amends, for all of the negative things I did. So it gave me a lot of joy. And I believe if I was still married, I wouldn't have such opportunity.
Yeah, because you'd have some bitch holding you down.
No, she's not a bitch.
I was joking. I'd say you'd have some. That's a saying that we say here. You'd have someone holding you down. But but she's a good woman now. Good on you. Fucking yeah, good on you. Good on you. Fucking she left you, but you're fair enough to say she's a good woman. But you're single and you're not looking? Like, is that right? You're single and not looking? Am I right?
Soldier. I'm a soldier. I can say that here.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. You can't reveal it. It's private.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. No, this has been fucking awesome. Alex is my producer. Do you have any questions?
Maybe some advice for you?
Alex.
You're looking for love.
Can you hear him?
Joshua have any advice for you?
Yeah, I'm looking for love. Joshua. So I want, do you have any advice for me? Because I am, I'm looking for love.
Well, I wish you all the best.
But what should I look for in a man? What do you think I should look for in a man type thing?
Well, I believe I will want my daughter to follow a man who has a direction. God originally created the man and gave him an assignment. When a man have discovered himself and his purpose, and know what he wants, is bigger than even owning a diamond mine. Because once he know what he wants and he have direction, then help him for a woman to meet their purpose in the man, because they were created. God said he's going to make man or help mate. And so if the man know, if he don't know what he want, he may have all of the money. The woman is going to get frustrated because she's not going to fulfill her purpose. She's supposed to meet the man who already have a direction. And if she have the grace for that direction, for what he want to accomplish, and she accepts him, it's easy for them to remain together because she's going to help him accomplish that purpose. And so look for a man who have directions that suits your making.
A man who has direction. I'm going to keep that in mind. I would argue to say that the second guest we had on this podcast, my intellectually disabled Rowan Grace, I would say he maybe lacks direction. You know, he has goals, but no direction. Yeah, you know what I mean? Did you watch that episode?
Come again?
Did you watch the episode? Because you said you watched some of my clips online. Did you watch the episode with Rowan, with the intellectually disabled man?
No, not yet. There are many, but I watched few of them. I've not watched what you're talking about. I will look out for it.
No, I was just making a reference to a guy who I had on who was interested in me at one point, but I'd say that he lacked direction. So that goals but no direction. You know what I mean? Like you can have a goal, but maybe like not a way to get to that goal. You know, you can't just have a goal.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, like this was really fucking awesome. And like, I want to like stay in contact and like have you back on here and just continue the story with what's happening for you and all that. And just kind of what I kind of envision is like, you know, because like I live in Australia, like you live in like, you know, West Africa, just kind of like those two worlds meeting, I think is a interesting kind of juxtaposition, and kind of like, you know, our kind of like traditions and your kind of like traditions, them kind of meeting. And also as someone who's also on the road to redemption after being a meth addicted prostitute, and kind of like trying to like, you know, overcome the obstacles that happen there. Like that's why I think would be interesting to like connect and kind of stay contact with this. And like, yeah, and we'll let everyone know like what's happening with like your show, with like your rehab and all that sort of stuff. So that's something I'm kind of keen to do. And yeah, I just wanted to get like an introduction to you, and then just have a bit of a laugh. And it's quite overwhelming, man, because like I've known about you for like a really, really long time.
Wow.
A really long time. So it was really cool. It was been really surreal to be able to do this with you today. Like, yeah, and I like, yeah. So I'm a bit, the only word I can use is starstruck. I'm a bit starstruck to meet the General Butt Naked, you know? Yeah, so that's kind of like what I'm looking at, and like, yeah, I think it'll be really interesting. I don't think a comedy, because this is like a comedy podcast, I don't think it's ever been done kind of in that way before, but I think it can be a good way to communicate with people as well. And it's just it's just wild. Like, oh my God, it's so wild.
So I asked my daughter and about this interview, and she said, "Well, Dad, the word for some reason is so serious." She's reading psychiatry, and she said the word is so serious. So some better ways to get very important information out there, it have to be comedies. He said, so she always encouraged comedians to, no matter how funny they want to be, they should try to give some serious information, because the word is getting too complicated, too serious to grab people's attention. So many people navigate to this, and I listened to her. I realized it was truth, and so I actually decided to give it my best. That's what I came. I'm in a hotel room. I just
in Monrovia?
I paid for this.
In Monrovia?
Yes, in Monrovia. Yeah, in Monrovia. I left my house because where I am is in Magibby. It's outside the capital, and the network it fluctuates. If we were there, but now we would have gotten up more than 100 times. So I have to drive all the way here, book this hotel this morning just to talk to you, because I think this is a wonderful platform, and some serious information, you know, could come out, and
yeah, well, great minds think alike, and we do have like this, yeah, and we do have like a good, yeah, we're like. Yeah, I think this is, it could be really interesting. And when was the last, like, Liberian kind of comedy as well? Well, I know Angel Michael, I know Paul Flomo, they're two Liberian comedians. And I know that there was also Alawala Balawala. But besides that, I can't think of much comedy. And Larry Charles' Dangerous World of Comedy. You would have met Larry Charles. You met Larry Charles. Do you remember Larry Charles?
Well, actually, I have met so many interviewers from all over the world that I will
You
not
lose
be able
track.
to keep track.
Well, Larry Charles is where I first found out about you. So Larry Charles did a documentary called Larry Charles' Dangerous World of Comedy. And he interviewed you on that and asked you what you found funny. But it wasn't it might have been in like 2019 or 2020. So you actually would have been going through your divorce. And I think it wasn't like the best. It wasn't like the best. Like there was kind of like a lot going on. And I think Larry Charles was quite overwhelmed to be in Liberia and everything. But yeah, you did do an interview with like a very prolific American comedian who used to write for shows like Seinfeld. And that's how I know about the show Ala Walla Bala Walla. Did you watch Ala Walla Bala Walla?
Balawala Malawala, yes.
Bala Walla Mala. Okay, I pronounced it wrong. But yes. So I know a bit about the Liberian comedy stuff. So yeah, and we also have Doug Stanhope, who I don't know if you know Doug Stanhope. I don't know. But like, do you know like many comedians? Like, do you know like Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and those type of guys?
Yes, I know Eddie Murphy. I know Eddie Murphy. I used to watch his show. I know a few American comedians. You know, I watch. It was given to me as a therapy by the Mercy Ship man. A Mercy Ship is a Christian ship that goes around the world and help countries that are poor medically with surgery and what have you. But they also have a mental health department. And the head of the mental health department is called Dr. Lynn Westman. And she adopted me as her son. And she advised me to watch comedies a lot. So I do watch a lot of comedy.
Fuck, yeah.
And even on and even in the project, I have a section. I put all of the funny children together. I wish we have a time to come down and have some comedy with them. It would be so powerful.
Oh, fuck. Bro, like we have some people to like call after this, but yeah, we're all for that and like wherever else this might go. So we might leave it there because it's like 10 o'clock here. But you were awesome today, fucking brilliant, and that was a great first interview and great introduction. And Alex?
Does he have anything to plug?
Do you Alex wants to know if you have anything to plug. Well, he's plugged his charity. Is there anything else you want to plug? That's what we do in podcasts. Plug.
What is that? Anything I want to plug?
But he
Promote. Explain it to him.
promote. So plug. So like if you, he's plugged like his charity though already. So plug-in is just what's coming next. Plug-in is what's coming next.
Okay.
So plug-in is like whether you whatever.
Yeah, we having a crisis actually. I believe that the pandemic now with this push is worse than Corona, because Corona in almost 3 years killed only 295 persons. This Corona have killed in almost 3 years, but this Corona have killed more than 1,000 in 6 months. And this push have killed more than 1,000 in 6 months. And it is not announced as a national pandemic yet. It's not only in Liberia, it's affecting in Sierra Leone and is affecting in Guinea. It's killing a lot of young people. And so because of this, I'm trying to hastily build more room, at least be able to host 300 person from the 50 person I'm hosted. So I have a goal that I wish out there that people can donate to. Yeah, so I want you to put it out there any way possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will. Yeah, for sure. And
is that what plug-in is?
Yeah, that's what plug-in is, and it can also be like what's coming next. So like what's planned. But it's that's what plug-in is. And like I'll just plug. I'm doing a show, a split bill, with my friend Rowan. With Rowan Arnell at Newcastle Comedy Club. So at the Newcastle Comedy Club, I'm going to be doing a split bill, and Joshua Blahyi is single-handedly trying to fight the drug epidemic in Liberia. So we're both on different journeys, but I feel like they're somehow connected, hopefully. And let's just hope that Rowan Arnell, who is a love interest of mine, let's just hope he has direction. Yeah? We're going to check that Rowan Arnell has direction. So thank you very much, Joshua, and thank you for coming on the Uncancellable Sian Smyth podcast, and stay in contact, and absolutely amazing. I was actually watching you preach just a couple of days ago. I was watching your preach, and I did think like you would be an awesome MC, but that's all stuff that we're going to get to later, now that you've given us so much. So much. So thank you, and God bless.
Amen. Thank you too, and God bless you. Wish you well in your endeavors.
Yeah, and stay in contact.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just had a cannibal warlord on the podcast. Where do we go from here? Tune in next week. Lots of love. This is an excuse to fucking call Doug. He's not going to care. He's going to be over that idea.